RoZetta Technology is the commercial arm of Circa Limited, and Circa Limited is a not-for-profit that provides financial services to academic institutions. A senior executive of Thomson Reuters mentioned that they had access to all these tapes called landmark tapes, which is basically a recording of every single transaction that goes through the Thomson Reuters service. The executive said, you can have these tapes, but we can't tell you what's on them. My job was to try and work out what was actually in that data and how we could access that data. It was quite a difficult job because what we were looking at was just binary code. It was a huge challenge to try and work out how we were going to store this data and then make that data accessible to clients. So my role obviously was not just as an architect, it was also really as a data scientist, because I had to work out or find out what was insightful in this data. And even they said, no, that's not possible. So they came over, did a due diligence on our capabilities and said, no, you've actually made the impossible possible. In the last 15 years, we've seen huge amounts of data being made available by companies and how they can exploit that data to be more efficient and just to compete in the marketplace. There's also been a huge amount of disruption going on, so companies really have to get their act together to understand what their data sets are and how they interact with the business model and how they can actually be more competitive. And that's really opened up that role for the data scientist, where the data scientist is looking at that data set, understanding the data, and giving the company direction on how to best exploit that data set. We were using a lot of technologies that nobody even thought of in those days. The MapReduce system that's been developed subsequently by Hadoop to take huge big data problems, break it up into small little bits, have lots of processes, process on the data, then bring it all together and make it available to the client. Well, we had to invent that. Nobody knows about it, but we had to build that to actually build, that is part of what I call the secret sauce of what made us different. In the early days, a lot of people that gave us no chance of actually solving this problem. They said, well, a small little company in Sydney can't do it, it's not possible. But once everybody is focused, you can actually do something that's truly amazing. Now we have about 450 of the largest clients in the world. That's the largest hedge funds, investment banks that are actually taking that service. Today, the data scientist is more involved in getting their hands dirty and actually accessing that data set, but also asking those difficult questions and exposing those answers to their management. Data is critical. I mean, it's absolutely critical to anybody's business. The data scientist is having a big impact. The CDO is having a big impact on how the business transforms best to exploit that data set. Everything will become important and everything is important, and I think that's the biggest lesson to be learned on big data sets.